I've never been a fan of Drake. Never. So none of this is like, man, this is sad, So all this time you was over here culture vulturing, right? And you were using your black side to do the rap battles, right? Be the king of music. MJ Records gone, all that stuff, right? I'm the king of music. But as soon as you get your ass whipped, and Not Like Us is the most popular song out there, you got kids singing it, little kids, 4-year-olds singing it, you mad now, and your Jewish side comes in, and your Jewish side comes in, you want to sue. What are we doing here? Don't do that. Just take the L.
Yo, Beth, that shit crazy.
We are back. Welcome to the All Even Podcast. My name is Barry Grant Jr. You can catch the show or clips on All Even Podcast or IGX. TikTok's going away, so I can't even put that out there anymore. But if you are on TikTok for the next day and a half, All Even Media, you can listen to the show on Podbeam as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm all over the place. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend because the page is growing. There's no Claude tonight, but the super intern is back in the building. What's up, Jimmy?
Nothing much.
Good to see you.
Sorry I had to miss a couple weeks.
It's fine. Listen, I understand the dynamic that we have now is that you'll show up here and I get excited and then you leave again. You're like the Rolling Stone of the All Even Podcast.
I do try.
You do try.
Things end up on Fridays.
Yeah.
I was sick and then I had a poker tournament. Didn't go well.
It happens. Did you lost all your money?
Not all of it. Not all my money. Not all the money I brought for the tournament. Yeah.
A third?
No, it was $300.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
But yeah, didn't win. But
there was some good players there?
No, I just
Didn't focus?
just some bad luck.
Sometimes it happens, right? Even when you're a good player, you just you don't have your fastball that day. That's all it is. So listen, you win some, you lose some, but at least you're here to have a good time. Silent Assassin is here. What's up?
Nothing much. What's up?
You tell me. I don't know.
No, just low-key week, so not much going on.
Yeah. I am fired up.
Yeah.
To say the least. I am. There's a lot to talk about that I need to get off my chest. A lot. Okay? First off, we got the divisional playoffs for the NFL. There's some coaching situations going on. Who the Jets are interviewing, who they're going to hire. Rodger Godell wants to make a big change. And, some people might like it. Some people might not like it. I got a lot to say about Cam Newton. I do. Joel Embiid is hurt again. And I may have a little message for him. Zion, I'm going to say something about Zion Williamson that I think that everybody needs to start to realize if they haven't realized it already. Jimmy Butler returns tonight from his 7-game suspension. And I'm going to tell you who I think is the greatest shooting guard in the game today that is on the same level as Kobe Bryant. And that's big praise. Mets watch. That's the, we got to talk about what's going on with the Mets. Lots happening. And man, do I feel vindicated. I feel good. I do. My relevant news of the week. And then the greatest segment on the planet, W of the week.
Dummy. Yeah.
Now, before I get into all that, Squid Game. Whoever hasn't watched it, you need to watch it, right? First season was fire. Second season, they kind of, the way they cut it off and leading into the third season, I like it. I do. I'm not really too invested into the characters like that, but they do have some good characters in the season. You know what I mean? The one thing that got me, right? So, the star, the main guy, I never can remember his name, but main guy, he's back into the games now, right? He wants to shut the whole shit down. And so he's in there telling him, listen, you got to listen to me, right? We got to get out of here. We got to vote to get the hell out of here. And people are voting, and it's like, I need to stay. Yeah, I need to go. I need to stay. So everybody's voting because they're greedy, right? This is the whole premise of the show, is that greed is what destroys us as a people. And people don't understand that, is that no matter how down on your luck you are, you will take the money over the food. We've seen that in the game, in episode 2, right? Season 2. Well, there was this guy that came in there, right? 001. I'm like, wait a second. I've seen this face before. Seen it. Couldn't put my finger on it, though. And listen, whoever hasn't watched it, spoiler, I don't care, right? I was just like, he's somebody, right? Ends up realizing who the hell he is at the end. I knew it. I knew it was him. So watch it. It's really, really good. The way they just make you get invested into whatever game is being played, right? The one where they were spinning and the song was playing and they got to go into a room. That shit was crazy. Mm-hmm. I felt bad.
Yeah.
You got people like, pick me, get the hell out of the way. I got to get in this room. You know what I mean? Old lady, you pushing them down. It's crazy. All right. If you are playing this game and you had to have a partner, right? And you found your partner and it's only 2 because they go through all these different numbers. You get 4, you get 3, you get 2 now. So you got to pick somebody else. You got to run to a room, or else if you don't get a room, you're getting shot in the face. And you see this old lady fall and stumble. You helping her? Yes or no? Jimmy?
Depends on how far I got to this room. But
what if you halfway?
If I feel like I'm cutting it close, probably not.
What about you, Silent Assassin?
Yeah, if it's in if I see her fall in front of me and I'm still have momentum, I will try my best and kind of scoop her up. But if I'm already have the momentum, I can't stop that and then turn back and then pick her up and then go back, because then there's no shot. It has to be within the same force of motion, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, in front of me, I could just give her. Yeah, maybe.
I would help. There's no punchline. Don't even think that there's one coming, because she's already laughing. I would help because my mother taught me the way to be a real, good Samaritan. But then you got to think about it. If I do help this lady, they're going to shoot both of us in the face. Yeah. So my strategy would be I would grab her up and we would run. And when the time is starting to elapse, and then we have to make a decision, I will then throw her as a barricade for the bullet so I can run into the room.
So you're just using the lady to protect yourself.
It's just the way it is, right? Survival of the fittest. That's all I'm saying. But that show is fire. It is. It really makes you it makes you wonder if you were ever in a situation like that, how you would respond. It's a crazy scenario. It really is. You know what I mean? You have to survive. And people that you like in this scenario may not be there tomorrow.
It is because you think it. Just from my perspective, I know this is not the truth, but I'm how can anyone, after seeing what happens and then given the option to leave, want to stay? But it's
that greed, man. That greed is crazy, because it's if you realize that every time somebody says, yo, I got to get the fuck out of here, you start seeing that money drop into the pool. Mm-hmm. And they're just yo, what can I do with that money? It's so crazy how money can be able to just alter your mood. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing else matters. You can be, feeling whatever. And as soon as you can get a little money, like that's why you see like, you know, certain people, I don't like to like compare, but obviously you have these like lawsuits and these people that have these like these essay claims, right? And then they settle in court. Is the money really making you feel better about the trauma that you went through?
It is.
No.
Yeah.
But it's a pacifier, right? This is the only way that I can get a judgment to mean something.
Yeah.
By taking the money. It's crazy. Or somebody who has a problem with something and then they settle for an undisclosed amount and you never hear that person complain again. It's like, so were you really that mad then? If they can be able to just throw money at you and just let you go away? It's just interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's truly interesting about how we have put so much value on something that doesn't necessarily have any value.
It's a piece of paper.
It doesn't. It's just a piece of fucking paper. You know what I mean? It's wild. Wild. Moving on. Look, I've never been a fan of Drake. Never. So none of this is like, man, you know, this is sad. You know, this is right on brand for me because I never looked at this dude as anything more than a culture vulture. So he has sued UMG for the whole, you know, business practices and the Spotify thing and all this other stuff, and came out, I think his team said, this is not a lawsuit against Kendrick Lamar. It's not a lawsuit against any particular artist. It's a lawsuit about how they are doing their business. Bullshit. Because if you would have whipped Kendrick Lamar's ass in the battle and everybody said that you won, we wouldn't be here. Let's keep it on it. It's the fact that he lost and he don't know how to take the L. And the fact that you're the one that's filing the lawsuit, it's not even your team, it's you. So all this time you was over here culture vulturing, right? And you were using your black side to do the rap battles, right? Be the king of music. MJ Records gone, all that stuff, right? I'm the king of music. But as soon as you get your ass whipped, and Not Like Us is the most popular song out there, and you got kids singing it, little kids, 4-year-olds singing it, you mad now, and your Jewish side comes in, and you and your Jewish side comes in, you want to sue. What are we doing here? Don't do that. Just take the L. You know what I mean? Go hide somewhere for a year. Make people say, damn, son, yo, I haven't heard a Drake record in a while. Like, I hope he comes back out soon. Just lay low. The more you do is the more you embarrass yourself. That's the way I see it, right? So UMG, they come out with a statement and say, throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry to engage in conventionally outrageous back and forth rap battles to express his feelings about other artists. Now he seeks to weaponize the legal process to silence an artist's creative expression and to seek damages from UMG for distributing that artist's music. Yes! Sour grapes. Don't hate. Don't do that. Even if there is some bullshit going on. There was bullshit going on with your records. They pushed your shits to the moon. You wasn't complaining when they was botting your shit up. Don't nobody care. You still the man, right? Somebody else can't get that now? You're the only one that could be able to profit off of the bot game? What are we doing? Thoughts?
Is that what it is? They were like botting? What's the lawsuit like?
Somebody, like, people are saying that they would type in a Drake song on Spotify and Not Like Us would come up. And I was just like, it's pretty clever. It is pretty clever. I don't even know if it's true, but hey.
Yeah, I don't know, because I did hear about like the botting issue, but I don't think that it was like an actual situation. I think he was just kind of like butthurt over the whole thing. So I don't know.
The whole thing is just, come on, bro. Like, just let it go. Let it go. And go away. Just go away. That would help. But you staying in the public eye, you going to basketball games on the sidelines and you just look doofy. You over here trying to, accuse LeBron James of living foul. What are you doing, bro? Why are you trying to sully somebody else's name just because you caught the L? And you know Kendrick is going to perform that song.
Yeah, he's going everywhere. Like, Kendrick's just blowing up.
Yeah.
Drake, like, falling now. Like, this is even, like, a bigger L. Like,
this is the crash out of the century.
Yeah.
Like, you corny for this. So, that's all I got to say. I'm just, you've been dissing people your whole career, and now you want to be Jewish and sue. Never heard Drake talk about being Jewish before, but now he's Jewish and wants to sue. That's all I'm saying. Moving on real quick. I don't like what's going on with Dipset. I don't like what's going on with Jim Jones, Cameron, and Mace. I don't like it. They need to get their old asses into a room, figure it out, and realize that the person that caused this division is 50 Cent. 50 is the one that called this, right? If you don't understand who caused the rift, it's 50. 50 is the antagonist. He's always been an antagonist. You got to know who it is. So just get back into a room, have a conversation, just piece it up, man, because fans of them, fans of Dipset, fans of Cameron, fans of Jimmy, we don't want to see this. We want to see camaraderie, and I know they've been having their issues for a very long time behind the scenes, and it's just like, bro, it's time for y'all to just piece it up because I'm tired of seeing it. After the break, we'll discuss some NFL news. I actually have something to break. I do. I had said something at the end of the pod last week that I have to address after the break.
Yo, it's your man DJ G Money from that Flip the Script podcast. You see it? We in the studio right now. Flip, shut up. Yeah. Whoa, listen. Shout out to the All Even podcast. My man Barry Grant Jr. What's up, man? What happened? What you want to say to the people?
Shout out somebody else's podcast?
Yeah, my man got the joint. What's up?
All Even.
All Even podcast.
Yo, it ain't even up here, boy. We put this go. What's up, man? All Even. Yo, oh my God. What's up with you, man? Now you gonna have to shout out. You keeping this?
Yeah, keep all that. You want to jump
All
in the
Even
camera?
podcast, right?
Yeah, All
Shout out
Even.
to All Even podcast, right? All Even. That's your man.
My man.
All right, shout out to All Even podcast. You cool?
100%. He cool. Is he cool? Let me see. Is he cool?
G. Put him in G. Oh. I shout him out, G. Oh.
He cool, man.
Welcome back, y'all. You know, I said something at the end of the show last week, and I said, you know what? I'm done with the Cowboys. I'm back with the Jets. I am more comfortable with the devil I've known my whole life than the new one that I've been dealing with for the last 11 years. I've loved rooting for the Cowboys. I haven't loved rooting for Dak Prescott. That's kind of sullied my Cowboys tenure. And then Mike McCarthy came along, and I was just like, I don't want to deal with him either, right? Well, now he's gone. But I still was like, I'm going to be supporting the Jets because Aaron Rodgers is still there, and I'm home. This is home to me. Jets are home. Well, screw all of that, okay? I am going back on what I said because guess what? There's news in Dallas. And I've always said to myself, there's no bigger star to me in football in history. There's Lawrence Taylor, and then there's Deion Sanders. Well, there so happens to be a chance that primetime Deion Sanders may coach the Dallas Cowboys, and that's the only way that I will return to Dallas. If he ends up being head coach, that's it. That's my stipulation. If Deion becomes the coach, I'm back in Dallas. If they go ahead and go hire somebody else like Kellen Moore or some other nonsense, I'm going to the Jets. But here's the problem, is that Cowboys fans were so happy 2 days ago. Like, oh my God, this is real. This may happen, right? Even me. I said, oh, this is real. Deion is serious. Jerry Jones may actually relinquish some power to Deion. What? Yes. But then reality sets in. And I have to take the glasses off for this. Why? Because I know Jerry. And he's a gaslighter. And he's a liar. And he always does this to Cowboys fans. We get so excited about something. I remember when after the Packers game in the playoffs, we said, this is it. Mike McCarthy's gone. No. He led us to believe, hey, you know, I'm just so upset and frustrated, and we're going to figure this out. And, you know, I'm probably going to have to move on from Mike. Oh, no. Got him back. Right? Dak Prescott, you signed him back. When everybody was like, get rid of him. Let him test free agency. Go. No. And here's the ultimate gaslighting. We are going to talk to Deion. We're going to have talks. And now Cowboys Nation is like, oh my goodness, primetime may be the coach. And you know what's going to happen? He's going to hire Kellen Moore as his head coach. He's going to hire Jason Witten as his head coach. Somebody who nobody cares about. But you got the Cowboys fans to dive right back in. And that's what Jerry does. You ain't going to fool me this time. Because I told you, if he's not Deion, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. I am not doing this anymore. If I'm going to support a team, at least I can support a team that has a future and they can get a new quarterback even if they get rid of Aaron Rodgers. They can have a chance to be able to do something different. Cowboys are stuck. They're stuck. They're stuck with Michael Parsons. You know, I can't stand his behind, right? They're stuck with Dak Prescott. Can't stand him. I like CeeDee Lamb. He's not going anywhere. Mike McCarthy told Jerry Jones, I'm out. Do you know how bad it has to be that the guy who desperately wanted the job told you to go fuck yourself? Think about how stupid this is, right? Mike McCarthy is negotiating with the Cowboys. They decline the Chicago Bears' right to want to interview him. Then you don't offer Mike a contract. So he says, you denied me access to talk to the Bears for what? Go fuck yourself. It's ridiculous. This is the stupidest organization I've ever seen. The Cowboys, they're really bad. However, if they sign Deion, I'm back. That's it. Because Deion Sanders is a guy that can be able to change the culture of this football team. He did it at Jackson State. He's doing it right now at Colorado. Deion Sanders would be the guy to be able to say, you see these players that you have on this team that are not performing and they think that they're too big? There's the door. We coming. That's the type of person that you need to lead your football team. Somebody who's not going to take the bullshit from the guy who thinks that he's better than what he is. That's why the allure of Deion Sanders is that powerful, to be able to pull me from New York back to Dallas. No other reason. No player can be able to keep me there. It's just prime time. That's it. That's it. So my jet, deflection is on pause until further notice. That's all I'm saying. But going into the Jets, they're interviewing a whole bunch of people, Aaron Glenn and Brian Flores, all of these guys they're interviewing, and I'm okay with it. I just don't like the fact that it's the same trend all the time, is that they're constantly going after defensive-minded head coaches. Like, you need to go into next generation of football. Everybody's going to go get themselves a young offensive-minded coach. That's the way it goes. That's a way to, there's still some teams out there that do it the traditional way. That's fine. But the gold standard or the trend is go get yourself a young offensive-minded coordinator or whatever it is. If they do decide to hire a Brian Flores or hire Aaron Glenn, this is my only request. Give whatever coach the respect and the leeway and the opportunity to be able to grow his program. You cannot do that in 2 years. You cannot do that in 1 year. It's funny that the last 2 black head coaches for the New York Jets, that's Todd Bowles and that's Herm Edwards. Those 2 had early success, and then they were not retained for an X amount of time. After what was year 2 or year 3, they were gone. But yet you had guys like Eric Mangini stick around, Rex Ryan stick around. You had Adam Gase stick around. All of these terrible fucking coaches stick around. And I'm not somebody who likes to play the race card, but I will play it when it's needed. But if you're going to hire that guy, give him a chance to be able to put his program in. And Woody Johnson is the Mad Hatter in this situation because he's one of the dumbest owners in sports. He thinks he knows football and he doesn't. He watches his son's Madden game to figure out who the fuck is on his team. Brick, who's that guy? That's your quarterback, Daddy. Just dumb. I didn't know we had Aaron Rodgers. Oh, okay. That's the type of person he that's how I feel he speaks. Oh, who's the kicker today? Oh, it's the guy. He's been on the team for like 3 years, Daddy. Oh, okay. No shit. You know he's gonna be at the inauguration on Monday, and Trump go look at him like, oh my God, what he's here? Who invited him? Who told him to get here? Who told him to be here? We have no job for you. Stay with the Jets and go figure it out. So that is my request for the Jets. Just make sure that you give whoever the opportunity to be able to grow that particular program and not rush to judgment and fire them. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. Rodger Godell wants to move from a 17-game season to an 18-game season right away. There's big success with the wild card games. There's big success with the TV rights deals. What's one more game to Rodger Godell? So, of course, he's going to want to push for the 18-game season. My issue is quality of play. We've seen that towards the ending, we see what week 18 looks like, right? Doesn't really look that great. You got players that sit. The Chiefs got blown out 38-0 or whatever the hell it was. Like, it changes the dynamic of playoff seeding for a whole bunch of teams when you got people that are just mailing in. They're resting players. They're tanking. What's one more game going to do? I don't see the benefit for the players outside of it can potentially raise contracts because it's an extra game, extra TV money, all this other stuff, okay? But they're sacrificing another week of their bodies, of trying to get prepared. And yeah, I might be talking about, sour grapes or whatever it is, but I think about the players. It's all about the players for me. I don't really necessarily care about having a 20-game season in the NFL. Like, for what? This is a very, very tough game. To have to see these guys beat up their bodies for an extra game, then you have to head into playoffs. Like, I just think that we were at a very, very good number at 16. I like the 16-game season. Call me crazy. Now we're at 17. Okay. We haven't even gotten used to the 17-game season, and then you want to go ahead and go to 18. It's just like, where's the stop? If you're so quick to change it so quickly, I wouldn't put it past Rodger Godell to go, let's do 20 games. Yeah, we're doing so well. So much money in the league. Let's go to 25.
It brings you back to the Squid Games concept, literally.
Yeah.
Sacrificing these guys' lives for some extra money is
For the
crazy.
for the bigger bag.
Mhm.
So you're not caring about these players' well-being. Oh yeah, well, we have these scientific studies and reports and all this stuff that we're doing for the helmets. How's that work for Tua? Just asking.
Mhm.
When you have people running into each other at 25 miles an hour, what do you think is going to fucking happen? And then you want to do that for 20 games? Possibly 18?
Even like fans or whomever, like, is anyone else like asking for an extension?
No!
Just him.
Just him.
Yeah.
Of
so-
course, obviously, I'm sure maybe the owners, maybe sponsors say, hey, we're thinking, if you guys got an extra game, we can give you an extra $1.5 billion, maybe. That's all you care about is the money.
Yeah, but what's that like when star players are getting hurt on that 17th game, and then there's the 18th game in the playoffs? They're not going to be able to obviously play in the playoffs, and then you're risking viewership there. You're missing out on your favorite players. And,
Rodger
so
Godell, I think, is looking at it like we will cross that bridge when we get there. That's how I'm seeing it, and it's just unfortunate. It really is. If it happens, of course, everybody's going to accept it because the more football people can watch is the more they love it. But I think about the players. I think about what the preparation is. Are they going to put in? I believe that if you put in an extra game, you're going to have double bye weeks. Have to. Have one early in the season and then you have one later in the season. Have to.
Yeah, like split it in half, basically.
Yeah.
8 and 8. Whatever it is.
It's just the only if you only have one bye week for an 18-game season, you're literally trying to kill people. That's just my opinion. I might be a little bit too extreme in regards to how I'm thinking, but I don't like that. I don't like it. Moving on. Cam Newton. I try to be understanding and try to hear everybody out. Everybody has a story. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their ups and downs, their trials and tribulations that they go through. I get that. But when you are going on shows and you're spilling out your emotions and your story about the struggle that you have to deal with of not having what you used to have. So he went on this podcast, and I'm not sure exactly what the podcast is. Jimmy, if you'd be able to look that up for me, find that for me. But he was on this podcast, detailing that those NFL checks are no longer coming. He hasn't gotten an NFL check in 3 years, and the quality of his life is different. The money is different. He has 8 kids that he has to feed and has to find ways to be able to try to give them the life that they're used to and they're comfortable with. And if you're somebody who's a layman to Cam Newton and don't really understand his story, you'd say, man, that's tough. You can understand being a parent and you working a nice job and then you end up, for whatever reason, not having that job anymore. Now you have to make sacrifices to cut certain things, whether you have to not pay a bill just to have your family eat. Those are sacrifices. Those are tough decisions that somebody has to make in those situations. So that's where my mind went when I was listening to it. But then I forgot who the fuck was talking and what he's gone through and what his profession actually was. He wasn't a carpenter. He didn't work for Saks Fifth Ave or whatever it is, and now he's working at Arby's. This is a guy that played in the NFL for 11 seasons. You know how much money Cam Newton made in those 11 seasons? My fearless group here, he made $133 million. So get the fuck out of here with this boohoo story about your 8 kids don't have money or they have to have a different level of life. Really? If you don't have no more bread outside of that $133 million that you got from the NFL, whose fault is that? And correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't he have a YouTube channel that he gets paid, he get money from? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this dude on ESPN as a contributor? Last time I seen him. So yeah, you might not be getting NFL checks, but you're still getting money. So if you can't have this lifestyle that you think that your children should need because they, but dad, you know, these 5-course meals that we're having, can't have them every day anymore, huh? Bullshit. I don't feel sorry for Cam Newton. Why should I ever feel sorry for Cam Newton? You made money. You are on the 1% of people in this country that earned generational wealth. If you don't have it anymore, you're MC Hammer, and I don't fucking feel sorry for you. Save your money. You should be able to go speak to young players and say, don't be like me. Don't think that the money's never going to run out, because guess what? It does. Every athlete has an expiration date. Whether it's LeBron James going into year 50, at some point he's going to say, I'm not going to play anymore. Tom Brady played until he was in his mid-40s, right? But he's no longer playing. We all have our expiration date. It's up to you to be able to save your money. Not spend it on a $30 million house. Not blow it on cars. Or have 8 baby moms where you have to pay child support. I don't feel sorry for a Cam Newton. I feel sorry for the person that actually believes this bullshit. That will listen to it about, oh, that poor Cam Newton. Oh, his life must be so hard. Really? Still has the money to be able to buy them wild ass fucking outfits that you buying. Yeah. Taylor hasn't missed an appointment. You go there every Tuesday. They get some new shit. So I don't feel bad for athletes that make an exorbitant amount of money and then they end up falling on hard times. Because if you have that money, you need to put some away. If you made $133 million, you should at least have $25 million as a nest egg that's in a Roth IRA that you're not even touching. I am not gonna touch this money. Why? Because I have these 8 kids and they need this money to be able to live. It's generational wealth that they can be able to start their own businesses. They can do whatever they need to do with it. I can be able to still have some money that I can be able to live off of. You blow through all your money, how am I supposed to feel sorry for you? How?
Okay, it's like just different, like, we're out here struggling, then you're struggling with $100 million.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
You struggling with your ESPN job. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You kidding me? So, I try to be understanding to people's plights and situations, but there's some things that are just fucking ridiculous to me. And I'm a logical person. I can't think about the nonsense. My brain doesn't compute it. It's like, wait a second. Is this the same guy that made $100+ million? What? That's like Alex Rodriguez calling out, yeah, I'm broke. You made $500 million in Major League Baseball. Where your money at? He had so much money he could be able to buy the T-Wolves. That's a good investment. He's smart with his money. What Cam Newton doing with his? Buying suits. Why don't you invest in a team like Tom Brady? Do that. You always notice how it's the white guys that know how to invest their money properly. We need something in our community to be able to tell these young black men to say, yo, you need to put some money away. You need to find a business that you can be able to invest in that's actually going to have some growth potential. Not a fucking restaurant. Not a boom boom room strip club. Not a car wash. Something that actually makes you money. Financial literacy is extremely important in this country. Not just for athletes. It's for everybody. Kids should understand how the stock market works in high school. That should be taught. Kids should understand what it is to open up a bank account. Kids should know how to balance a checkbook. These are life skills that are going to take you through your fucking life. Not algebra. Not science. Unless you want to go into that field. Life skills. And these athletes need to pay more attention to these life skills because you go from making no money to having all the money one night. Same thing with these NIL deals. These kids are going from no money to now you're getting all the money. And you need to understand how to be able to control that. That's it. It might sound harsh, but it's the harsh realities of life is that if you don't learn, you will fall. And others behind you, if you don't show them the way, they will also fall if they don't have the proper guidance and team around them to be able to direct them on the right path. So, as much as I want to feel sorry for Cam Newton, I can't. And I won't. So, moving on. Divisional playoffs in the NFL. Who do we got? Well, have some interesting games. We have the Texans and Chiefs on Saturday. We have Commanders and Lions. We have Rams and Eagles. We have Ravens and Bills. So I have all the home teams winning except the the Eagles and the Bills. So we can start with the Texans and Chiefs. Texans have they have a very difficult task ahead of them. They're gonna play in the cold. That's one, right? Two, you have to deal with Patrick Mahomes. Three, you have to deal with the referees and Patrick Mahomes. Four, you have to see if CJ Stroud is going to be up for the challenge. Five, you have Andy Reid, who's the masterful head coach, against a coach that's done pretty good for his first 2 years, but it's going to be a struggle for him because Andy Reid is going to run circles around him. So there's a lot of things that are working against the Texans, but this is the same team that beat the fucking Chargers when they weren't supposed to, right? So for me, I can pick the Chiefs, but there's a lot of anomalies here that could go the other way. Do we think it's going to be a good game at least, or do we think there's going to be a blowout? What do you think, Jimmy?
I feel like it's gonna be like a defense game.
Defensive game?
That's what I'm imagining. Which is like, I don't know. That's fun for some people. but
Okay.
I don't know.
I like a good defensive game. What about you, Silent Assassin?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty close. I don't think it's gonna be like a blowout, but
They have the spread at -8.5. That's very, very big. They have the total points at 41.5. So that's kind of a low scoring-ish game, right? Yeah, I got the Chiefs side. As much as I can't stand the Chiefs, I have to pick them because I don't have the confidence in the Texans that a lot of people do. I think that they're a good young team, but they're just not ready yet. They're not ready for this level of bullshit that they're about to endure. And trust me, there's gonna be a lot of calls that people could be like, "What? How did that happen?" You're gonna see. We witnessed it for 20 years with New England Patriots. We got it now. We got it now. So yeah. Commanders and Lions. Two decent teams, man. Lions are at home. Lions are -9.5. Wow. 55.5 total points. So they think it's going to be a shootout. What do you think?
I feel like it's, I don't know. I think the 55 is like, everybody thinks it's gonna go over. I feel like it's gonna be less than that. I feel like it's gonna be surprisingly like defense also.
Really?
This game. I don't think it's gonna be like under 41.5, but
Right.
I think we see in like the 40s, my guess.
Okay.
And I think Commanders might cover the spread. That one I don't know. That one's, it's hard to say.
That one's very hard to say.
Yeah.
What about you, Silent Assassin?
I feel like this game could be a big game just because Jaden Daniels is always magic somehow, and the Lions are just the Lions. So I feel like it could be a pretty high-scoring game. It's like what's predicted. So
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game. I got the Lions winning this game, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis has been phenomenal this season. He continues to just rise above it and be great and be consistent. Running game, they have Montgomery back, which is really, really a big addition for them. Obviously, defensively, they've lost a lot of pieces, but they've trucked on. You would think that this team would have struggled a bit and lost the beat, but they have not. This is a resilient football team, and that comes, because of their head coach. Dan Campbell has done such a great job figuring out the pulse of his team, getting these guys ready, having them prepared to play a football game every time. That's how you know you have a great coach, is when the team is ready to play. Win, lose, or draw. But if they're ready to play and they don't look like they're in above their heads, that's how you know you got something special. So I got the Lions winning this game because they are 1/2 of my Super Bowl pick, and they will continue to keep rolling along. Next game, Rams and Eagles. Oh, this is easy for me. It's easy. Rams. I will never pick the Eagles. It just won't happen. Whether it's biased or not, I don't care. I won't. I don't believe in Jaden. What was his name? Jalen Hurts. Whatever the hell his name is. Saquon is great, right? AJ Green, great. What was it? No, AJ Brown, he's great. Where it is, they're good. But these Rams, I'll tell you right now, they ain't supposed to be here.
mm-hmm.
But every time they play, they're like, man, this is a tough team. So I can't, yes, there's some bias here, but I literally do believe that this Rams team has a legit shot to beat this Eagles team. I think that Stafford is a great quarterback. I think when the playoffs start, something happens to this guy and the switch, clicks on. Puka Nacua, he's a great receiver. You have all the other pieces they have. Williams, the running back, they are good. They are built for this time. This is not a stage that they're going to be like, oh, well, we were outmatched. They're going to go into Lincoln Financial. They're going to do what they do, and I think that the Rams are going to pull this out. I really do. They have the Eagles at -6.5, 43.5 points. I got the Rams, man. I got the Rams winning this game 27-21. That's it. Rams move on to the NFC Championship game. What do you guys think?
I think Rams also. I think 6.5 is too many points.
Yeah, it
they
is.
seem good.
Yeah.
And if it's like lower scoring too, it's hard to get.
Right.
So I think Rams plus 6.5. I like that.
Yeah.
And just money line. I think they win.
Money line, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Money line, just flat out.
Yeah.
They got it. What about you, Silent Assassin?
I think it's close, but I'm going with Saquon. So
You going to say,
I gotta
giant ties here. You don't,
That's
listen,
it.
just because Saquon is over there, you don't root for those guys over there, okay? You don't root for the
Well,
Eagles.
Saquon's a nice guy, so
He is, but he's on the bad team,
yeah, it's
okay?
true, but I don't know. We'll see.
See, they just put a report out. Look, it said Jets head coach vacancy seen as the toughest job in the NFL. Why? Because it's the biggest challenge due to the dumb owner and intense media market. And obviously, I'm putting that in there, my own spin. But yeah, of course. Who else want to come here? Dealing with that moron. He's an idiot. Poor Aaron Rodgers had to come here and realize, man, I thought Green Bay was bad. This guy's an idiot. He keeps wearing these white hats all the time. Wear a different color. It's just weird. Anybody that names their kid Brick, you can't trust anyway. It's just strange. The last game, who do we got? We have Ravens and Bills. This is going to be a really, really good game. This is the strangest spread I've seen all week. I've been checking this since whenever the last game was, I saw what the spread was. It was -1 then. You know what the spread is right now? It's still -1. This is literally a toss-up game. Bettors are just like this. We don't know. Pick one. Close your eyes and pick. Both teams are very, very similar. You have dual threat quarterbacks that has had good, they both have had good seasons. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is the leading front runner candidate for the MVP. He will win back-to-back MVPs in his third of his career, which is crazy. He's not even 30 yet. Good running games. You got Derrick Henry. You got James Cook on the other side. Wide receivers, kind of a push, right? Tight ends are really good on both sides. Defenses are pretty good on both sides. You have two good OCs. So they're very, very mirror images of each other. And who's going to be the quarterback to make the mistake? Lamar Jackson has not been a guy that performs well at this level. Wild card playoffs, you can be able to. He always does well there. But once it comes to the divisional round and the championship round, it gets a little dicey. We've seen Josh Allen perform very well on this stage and come up short several times. Is this the time that he's going to be able to punch his ticket to the Super Bowl? I say no. I got the Ravens winning this game. The combination of Lamar throwing the ball the way he's been throwing it all season and Derrick fucking Henry. Even if Lamar has a bad throwing game, you can be able to give it to the biggest guy on the fucking field and have him run over everybody for 4 quarters. Problem is that what people don't realize about Derrick Henry is that you can stop him for 3.5 quarters. But just the effort of trying to stop him wears your defense down when you have to tackle 6'3", 250 plus pounds. He gets stronger as the defense gets weaker. So when you have a weapon like that, and on top of that, he can run past everybody. There's too many variables that point in the Ravens direction and don't point in the Bills direction. That makes me say Ravens have the edge. And I think the Ravens are going to win this game. What do you think, Jimmy?
I think the Ravens win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think not Lamar. Josh Allen's good at like home. That's
Yeah.
like the one thing, but I still just think
It may
Lamar
end
wins
up being
for
a
sure.
snow bowl, right? Who knows?
It's gonna be cold. That's for
Gonna be
sure.
cold as
It's gonna
hell,
be freezing.
right? But you know, Baltimore's used to the cold as well.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, I honestly agree with everything you said, but I just see Josh Allen just pulls it through. I literally do think the Ravens do have the offensive edge, but I don't know, Josh Allen. I see him like going this year all the way. So
You know, I have to admit too, I'm throwing shade at Josh Allen because he's dating the girl. What's her name?
Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah. I will not root for him. Okay. I won't. Okay. I don't know what she sees in him. I don't know what she sees in him. But Lamar's gonna win. Yeah, I got the Ravens winning this game. So that is my division round prediction. We'll see what happens. I think my prediction of Ravens Lions Super Bowl still looks good. Still looks damn good. And that would be a fun game, but we're not there yet, so we'll see what happens in these divisional playoffs. Now it's time for my irrelevant news of the week.
You gotta be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the... I mean, yeah, they stink.
Every week we go ahead and we find different stories and see what the hell is going on. What is going on? Let's see what we have. Well, we spoke about the TikTok ban, so that's sad enough. Barbie releases Aaliyah doll in honor of her 46th birthday. Really, really nice if you look at the pictures of this doll. And it's a sad time. You guys are too young to know who Aaliyah was, but amazing artist, just potential, and she had the world ahead of her. But for me, I'm just like, it's a little weird releasing a Barbie for her, though. Like, what grown-ass person is going to put this in their house? As a collector's item? I don't put no damn Barbies in my house. I'm not. So I don't know. I don't know if this is like the right way that I would like, you know, have a mural or whatever it is, appreciation for her. Give her a, I don't know, something else.
Like a limited edition, like record or something.
Yeah. Something. Fucking Barbie.
So does it sing though? Like, is it?
No.
No. So I don't know.
It's just a Barbie. It's just foolishness. You know? No. Moving on. Wendy Williams. Did you guys hear about what's going on with Wendy Williams?
I did see she was talking about somebody. I don't remember what the whole situation was though.
So Wendy Williams obviously has been with this what is it called? The thing that Britney Spears is dealing with.
Yeah,
under the
Conservatorship, yes. Because she is dealing with some health issues. She has dementia. Depending on who you speak to or what level it is, obviously dementia is a sliding scale. You know, you can be good today and not so good tomorrow. So, you know, she's been on The Breakfast Club. She went on Don Lemon, you know, talking about how, you know, she's literally a prisoner in her own home. She can't go out shopping without having to get permission. She can't do this and that. It's just like, you know, when you hear her speak, it's like, yeah, okay, she has dementia, but at this level, does she really need that conservatorship? It's just like, it's so crazy how you can be able to be this budding star, this not even budding star, this huge personality that has this huge following, have amassed all of this money and notoriety and respect, and as soon as you have a health crisis, somebody can just come in and say, "Oh, she's not capable of taking care of herself. I'll take her money." What? Wow. How is that okay? Like, I understand it for situations that need it, but she didn't need that. And for her to be in that situation now, it's just like, for me, it's just sad, man. That you have to see this person that was this dynamo, and yeah, she's not the same person, obviously, because life happens, but to not have control or even have the people that she wants to have control over it. She don't fuck with none of these people. There's a lawyer there involved, and the lawyer for the conservatorship. So he's literally the ops. It's crazy. So hopefully there's a resolution, man. I was never the biggest Wendy Williams fan, but watching her doc, watching that whole situation, it's just really sad, man. It's really sad to have somebody be able to like have to go through that and have to deal with that and see them erode physically in front of you just because, you know, they do have a health issue. But also, too, it's just like she's depressed. And depression only leads to destruction. It really does. So I'm hoping that she can be able to, I don't know, man, find maybe get out of there, start her own YouTube channel, or everybody else is doing it. Wendy Williams would be great because she was the one that was blowing the horn years ago about Diddy. Could you imagine if Wendy Williams was out there now? She'd be like, "I fucking told you."
Yeah, she always like said whatever. She didn't care.
Yeah, she used to know a lot of stuff about a lot of people, and she was blowing the horn on Diddy, and she lost a lot of situations because of that, right? Lost some money because of that, because they were trying to cover it. Now look, Diddy's a punchline for everybody. And she would have been rolling in the dough right now. Like, I fucking told you.
Mm-hmm.
Told you, little freaky boy. So, I'm just hoping that there's some resolution for Wendy, man. Because I don't like it, man. It's nasty work. It's nasty work what they doing to Wendy Williams. Do I have another one? Oh, this is crazy. You ready for the last one? We haven't done one of these in a very long time, but anytime you hear me say these two words, you know it's about to get crazy. Florida man arrested for allegedly making sexual contact with a horse. Here we go. So, yeah. Why? First off, are you a sane person? Can a sane person do this?
I don't know. Any animal, like, you're looking at it and be like, I want to do something to that animal. Like, you're
that's
gone.
crazy.
You're beyond gone.
Right?
Yeah.
You're looking at this horse like, man, this horse is kind of hung. Probably be a good time. Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And then why would you even want to do anything sexual to a horse? Do you understand how smelly and disgusting horses are?
Mm-hmm.
They smell bad when they're alive. Much less in a situation that you're putting something in somewhere that shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. I don't. Did they say what the act, like, what?
I don't even listen.
Something was,
it's
whatever?
Probably something bad. Can you imagine if you got caught fisting this horse? Oh my God, what's going on? I just want to move to Mars. I do. What is going on here? And you should see the picture of this dude too. Like, long hair, gray beard, looks like a sick fuck. Does. Looks like he has a whole bunch of garbage piled up in his backyard. It's like 8 feet tall, built a border of garbage around his house. It's just crazy. Like, it's just, why? Like, I remember a real quick story. There was this teacher. I don't know if she was a teacher or there was it was a story years ago. This lady used to have a dog. They removed this dog from this person's care because the dog was being abused. Not in the way that you would think, dog getting hit or, starved. No, this lady used to get undressed and she used to lather herself up in peanut butter and have this dog lick off all the peanut butter off of her. And then she would entice the dog to So they found out and they said, "Oh, let's remove this animal from this home. This is abuse." What would possess you to do that?
Like literally R-wording an animal.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's like also too like I can't imagine like all like the infections you can get from that as well. It's like
That's just gross.
Catch a disease. Like, where'd you get this from? Like, well,
right.
I was doing something with my dog, and
there was a picture of this guy. Like, he used to let his dog lick his face all the time in his mouth. Mm-hmm. Man lost his nose in his mouth. Because there's a lot of nasty shit. Dogs eat their shit. Mm-hmm. They do. They lick shit all day long. They eat garbage. Some dogs are really stupid, right? Like Claw's dog. Really dumb, right? But it's just, you got to be careful. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine he lick off all this peanut butter over this lady's naked body? And now she got no more boobs because they gone because there's some flesh eating bacteria, and she got no more special parts. Because what are you doing? And why? You gonna go to the hospital and they go say, "Ma'am, what did you do? What did you get in contact with anything?" "Yes, I did. It was a flesh eating bacteria." Then they go ahead and they test, all the stuff that's on her body, and they go ahead and put it to a lab, and they say, "Bob, you're not gonna believe this. Come here. The bacteria that's on her skin is from a dog." "Well, how did the dog?" Oh no, she didn't do that." Freak! Freaky girl. It's nasty. So this guy, he needs to be locked up in jail and leave the horses alone. Put the horse in therapy. You know what I mean? Goodness gracious. That is my irrelevant news.
You gotta be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the...
Yeah.
I mean, they stink.
Got some freaks out there. After the break, I'll touch on some NBA news.
Yo, this is Cigar Gents and Gals. I want to give a shout out to my boy Barry for All Even Podcast. Keep doing your thing, bro. Killing it.
Welcome back, y'all. Joel Embiid is one of the best players in the NBA. He's been that for a very long time, but he's also had a lot of question marks. A lot of people question him because he hasn't been the most reliable guy health-wise and also coming up in the clutch in the playoffs. Well, he's hurt again. And I think that they're going to evaluate him in another 7 to 10 days and see exactly where he's at. And it's just been one of those rough years for the Philadelphia 76ers. It's been a rough year for Joel Embiid. And there needs to be a conversation of maybe he might need to step away from the game, because if he's already battling knee problems, he's a guy that's 7'2". He's not the smallest of guys in regards to weight. And he constantly is getting hurt and doesn't perform in the playoffs. I mean, there might be a conversation that he may have with his team internally that, does he still have the love for the game? Does he still want to pursue and have to go through rehab and have to come back? And it's a lot. It's a lot. And I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's one of those things where the heart wants what the heart wants, but sometimes the body is just not willing. Sometimes the body gives out. And a lot of athletes' bodies give out before they actually want to hang it up. So I don't know, man. I'm concerned about him. I'm concerned about him long term. I'm concerned about the Philadelphia 76ers. They invested a lot of money into him over the next 3 years. So we'll see what happens. But if it were up to me, I would definitely convince or try to have a conversation with him about possibly stepping away, because it's not going to get any better for Philly. I think that they need to figure out a way to rebuild, tear it down, build it back up, trust the process again, and see what they can be able to do. But this Joel Embiid leading thing is not working. Him being the best player on your team isn't working. So is it to the point where they need to trade him? Don't know. Is it to the point where they need to ride it out? I don't think so. Must he or will he or should he think about possibly retiring? I think he should. Moving on. This is a hot take, but I think Zion Williamson is a bust. The definition of a bust is a guy that did not live up to potential. What was Zion Williamson's potential? He was a guy that was supposed to be the flag bearer for the NBA. He was supposed to be the next LeBron, to be able to change the game, to be the guy. He hasn't been any of that. He's been a guy that's been off injured. He's still having weight issues. He hasn't been a difference maker for the New Orleans Pelicans franchise. Obviously, you know, when he was right, whenever that was, they had some potential a few years back, but it's not looking good. And you see the success that Ja Morant is having with Memphis. I told people before the draft, I said Ja is the generational one, not Zion. Ja is going to be the one to be the game changer and be the point guard prototype that people follow. Told people that and they laugh. Oh no, Zion's gonna be good, man. He break. No, I saw a guy that broke shoes at Duke, that was out of shape, that was a little bit immature, that didn't understand the responsibilities that were in front of him. And I still see that same person now that's literally an adult. It's concerning. So when you talk about a bust, absolutely. He did not live up to the expectations. He's not living up to the expectation of the franchise that drafted him. They're thinking about trading him because they're trying to see exactly what value he has. A lot of teams don't want to trade for him because they don't even know what type of value he has. Like, what do we give up for him? What do you want? What can we expect out of a guy that cannot show us that he can stay healthy? So yes, the definition of a bust, whether you can't stay healthy, like Sam Bowie, whether you don't live up to potential, like Joe Smith. There's a lot of people that just have not done what they're supposed to do when they have the responsibility of being the number one pick. Is he a Andre Bargnani? No, he's not that bad. But he's a guy that was expected to do a lot more than what he's doing. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that he's a guy that loves the game of basketball the way he should. I don't think he's a guy that trains at a level that he should. I don't think he's a guy that is responsible off the court the way you want your superstars to be. All of these things are very concerning. And if I'm a franchise, I'm not starting my franchise with a guy like Zion Williamson. Probably wouldn't even have him on my team. The talent alone, yes, is great, but what comes with the talent? You need somebody that's going to be a professional off the court and on the court. Zion hasn't shown that. Ja, yes, he has his maturity issues, but he's a guy that when he's on the floor, things are positive. And this team, that Memphis team, is good. They're one of the best teams in the NBA. New Orleans Pelicans are one of the worst teams in the NBA. And it shows because whether it be the lack of availability, the lack of the leadership qualities that he doesn't have, the lack of connection between him and the head coach, the lack of connection between him and his teammates. Something is just off. And the more people see that, the more executives see that, is the more they're going to depreciate the asset and say, well, we don't really want to trade anything for a guy like that. That's where we're headed. So he's having a great game now. New Orleans is winning the game, but can you be able to trust that for the next 20 games straight? Will he be there? Probably not. And that's the problem. Moving on. Jimmy Butler is back, and he released a very funny video, or not even a video. It's more of a statement, just like how Jordan released a statement back in, was it 95, that he's coming back. So Jimmy Butler returns from a 7-game suspension. I'm hearing rumors that the Miami Heat, they don't want him back. They're trying to figure out how to be able to amicably part ways. I did hear that the Phoenix Suns are interested in trading for him. They're going to have to trade away a first-round pick for him. Is Jimmy Butler worth it? I don't know. But on a team that's very desperate like the Phoenix Suns to try to make the playoffs with their high-end stars that they have, I mean, it's worth a shot. What's a first-round pick to a team that doesn't have much of a future? All of their assets are tied up into the guys that they have right now. So, yeah. Is Jimmy going to be a guy that you can be able to trust for the Miami Heat until they can be able to move him? Possibly. Maybe he's in a better, frame of mind that he wasn't in a couple of weeks ago. Maybe Pat Riley and him can have a conversation. I do know that they had a conversation a couple of days ago, or maybe a week, that, Jimmy Butler said he still wants to get traded. So there's an understanding of, hey, I'm going to come back to work. I'm going to try my best to be as responsible, as professional, and help this team win. But I need your promise to get me up out of here when the time calls for it, and not hold me like you've been holding me for all this time, because you don't want to pay me. You don't want to possibly let me go to a place that I want to go to. So please, if there's a team that is vying for my services, just let me go. I respect that. So we'll see exactly what happens with Jimmy. I'm sure he's going to have the support of his teammates. I mean, he always plays hard. No matter if he was mailing it in a little bit a couple of weeks ago, Jimmy Butler's always been a guy that is a lunch pail guy. He's a guy that works hard, blue collar type of player. So I don't have to worry about work ethic and, making sure that he's on his P's and Q's. Moving on. I saw a guy that is probably on the level of a Kobe Bryant. And it's very hard for me to be able to say that in modern day watching basketball. I don't watch much basketball, but when I do watch it, I watch this kid. And SGA is probably the closest thing that I've seen to a guy that's on Kobe's level in a very long time. Like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best players I've seen in a very, very long time. When you make basketball look easy, and there's a couple of guys in the history of this game at the guard position that have made basketball look very easy. Magic Johnson, MJ, Kobe, Tracy McGrady, LeBron James. Obviously, these are guards, forwards. Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson. These guys were just natural scorers, natural players that when they got on the court, it didn't matter who was there, they were going to impose their will on a basketball game. SGA has that same ability. And I don't think that it's even close this season in regards to who the MVP is. They didn't want to give it to him last year. Fine. He deserved it last year. There is no doubt in my mind that he will get it this year. He's the best player in the NBA. He's been the best player in the NBA for maybe 2.5 years now that nobody's really been talking about. This is a guy that gets 30 in his sleep. It's a guy that's a walking bucket. And when you talk about a guy that you can't guard, whether it's going to the basket, him pulling up from mid-range, him actually having another facet to his game in regards to being able to hit the three ball. This is a guy that has Kobe Bryant ability, and it's beautiful to watch. He's not Kobe Bryant exactly, but he's a guy that has that ability that he can be able to literally average 40 a game for a whole month if he wanted to. He's that talented. And in a game or a league that you can't really hand check and be physical with a guy, this is a guy that's just going to make the game look a lot easier than it's supposed to. So shouts to Shea, man. He's one of the most special talents that I've seen come across in the NBA in a long time. And shouts to my man Kev. Kev had called this years ago. Back when this kid was at Kentucky, he was like, this kid's gonna be a star. I couldn't see it. I was like, who, him? This lanky, skinny ass. Like, this dude defensively, he has the ability to continue to get better. And when you have that physical talent and you have the work ethic to be able to improve on a year-to-year basis, it's not a lot of guys that have that possess that level of talent, man. And he has the moxie, he has the confidence, the arrogance. Everything about him just reminds me of Kobe Bryant. It really does. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to him. You know, the fact that he's an Oklahoma City Thunder sucks, but I enjoy watching their brand of basketball because they have so much fun and they have such young guys on that team. And their head coach is a really, really good motivator and knows how to prepare them for a basketball game. That's a team, that's a player that should be the face of the league. You know, they got other players that, you know, all the guys that they want to talk about. Nah, it's him. He's him. And Wemby, I get it. Wemby's tough. Giannis, everybody wants to, you know, push Giannis down your throat, pause, but I'm not there. I'm not a Giannis fan. I appreciate his game, but SGA is a legit shooting star in this game that reminds me of one of the greatest players of all time. He just beat the Cavs by 40. The Cavs are one of the best teams in the league. 40. Or was it 30? Whatever it was. He had 40 and they beat them by a wide margin. That's a guy that deserves all the hype, all the media praise, all the endorsements, all the energy that they're giving to somebody else. Give it to that kid because he deserves it. Moving on. There's a lot of Mets news. Man, oh man, it's been a glorious 48 hours for me personally. You know, you go from the Mets waiting on the Pete Alonso shoe to drop, and they offered him 3 years, $68 to $70 million, and he rejected it. And then the Mets said, you know what? We're going to give you until a certain amount of time to be able to negotiate and take this deal, or we moving the fuck on. Well, Mets decided to move on. They signed Jesse Winker to a 1-year deal worth $8 million. Can move up to $9 million with incentives. They went ahead and got one of the best relievers in the game, 31-year-old AJ Minter, right? Making moves. And now Pete, they said that it might be over. He might not be returning to Queens. They said that his market is starting to increase. The Toronto Blue Jays are in it. I'm just like, I don't fucking believe that. I believe it when I see it. Still haven't heard an offer. None of that stuff. So please, Silent Assassin, what do you think about this whole situation? You think he's gone, or do you think that this is just a negotiation tactic?
I think it's from his end, like he doesn't want to leave. I think Boris kind of ruined the situation fully for him, the way that it's been handled. And it is kind of convenient, I guess, for him that, all of a sudden the Blue Jays are in it out of nowhere. I did see that the only other real offer that was ever given to him was from the Angels for $50 million for 2 years, which obviously wasn't going to take that deal. But it's because how long can the Mets kind of stay and hang around? They gave him multiple offers that were of generous offers, like they were for the league's value fit. So it's like, what else more can they offer him? They don't want to go to his asking price around $90 million for 3 years with opt-outs. Personally, I'm fine with, like, I'm not really, like, if it's 25 to 30 a year depending on the opt-outs, like, I'm fine with that. I think right now it's sitting around, what they offered him was around $23 million a year. So if they did offer him that, like, I'm fine with it. But there has to come a time where he has to understand that he's not that guy that's gonna get the big money and has to settle. Like, for him too, like, it makes no sense to go play for the Blue Jays or another team that's not really in contention, or, that he is New York. So I can't see him vibing with any other city like he does with New York. Like, he loves New York. New York loves him. So I feel like the different change of scenery for him is not really gonna work. I just can't see it being good for him than New York. But if it comes down to it and he wants the money, then go ahead. Go get your money. But
yeah. I mean, you summed it up great. I mean, if money is going to be the deciding factor, and obviously it always is. He's looking at it like, listen, I'm trying to get a payday. I'm not trying to settle. But you also have to look at it from two different perspectives, and maybe there's even more. When Pete got offered the 7-year, was it 158? One of the ARB years that they were actually putting in there. So it's really like 6 years at $130-something million, right? You were dealing with a completely different regime. That was Billy Epler that gave you that deal right before the 2023 deadline, right? So at that point, Pete's like, oh, well, if they're going to offer me 150 now, my goodness, what's going to happen in a year or 2 years from now when I can be able to play better and get more money? Well, you didn't. You haven't been good in 2 years. And on top of that, Cohen said, hey, Pete, we'd love you. Love you to stay. We'd love you to be a lifelong Met, retire here. But I'd like to introduce you to our new president of baseball operations. David Stearns comes in here and says, hey, Pete, and there's no emotional attachment. See, when you bring somebody else that's from a different situation, he didn't draft you. He didn't watch you develop. He watched you hit home runs from a distance. But this is a man that understands the market, understands analytics. He understands what your value is. And he says, you are not going to get me to fold under public pressure to sign you for a deal that's not going to work for me. If you want to be back, we would love you back. But it's going to be on our terms that you're back. Not us feeling the pressure of old regimes in the past that might have cracked under it and given you what you wanted. Just because, we want him to be around and break all of these records so we can be able to sell more tickets. David Stearns is thinking bigger picture. Why would I give you $30+ million for a short deal when I can literally hedge my bet and find a way to get through this year and go big game fishing again? I just signed the biggest contract in North American sports history. Why the fuck do I want you back? And again, we signed Juan Soto for 15 years. Not 2. Not 1. So even if there's a year next year or this year that the offense is not so great and he has to deal with that 1 year in New York that, okay, the protection wasn't all that hot. It's 1 year out of the bigger picture. And if you can be able to go get a Vladdy or whoever else is, because somebody else is going to appear. And there's no team out there outside of the Dodgers or even, the Red Sox that have the farm system to be able to go big game fishing. The Mets have a lot of depth in that farm system. So when you think about David Stearns, there's no emotional attachment. There's no financial responsibility because they're not bidding against anybody else but themselves. Why would they go above and beyond some contract? I've heard people say, "Oh, well, you guys won the negotiation. He's accepted a 3-year deal. You should just sign him for whatever he wants." I don't want to just win the negotiation. I want to win everything. I want to win everything. I'm not, just because you take the years, doesn't mean I want to give you $27 million a year.
Yeah.
I don't feel confident. I don't think the Mets feel confident in his ability to be able to give him the money that he wants, even if it is for a short term. These 2 years have been really, I wouldn't say like they're not awful, but it's concerning.
Yeah, it is, like, especially with average. He was never like a big average guy, but it
Right.
definitely did dip a lot because he was ranging from, I think his high was in the 270, so he ranged before like 260, 270, which is decent, but then down to the low 200s, it's an issue. So
the man was at the Mendoza line for almost the entire 2023 season. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And then you come back this year in a walk year and do nothing.
No.
We're only here because of one fucking home run. Had he not hit that home run, he struck out against Devin Williams, Pete would have been gone. The Mets would have their first baseman already. So my question to you is, should they move on?
Yeah, at this point, like I said, I don't see the Mets offering anything more, or even the deal that they offered him. It's obviously going to keep getting lower. It's like, okay, you can take this, just the negotiation process, but it's been now how many weeks till spring training? A couple weeks now.
69 days.
Yeah, so it's cutting down short. And if the Jays are now involved and they want to get their guy because they missed out on a bunch of people,
Don't nobody want to
get
get their money over there.
So they take it, but I don't know if the Mets are, like I spoke to you over the week that, and you said too, like David Stearns is not, it's not his guy. He's not interested. Maybe Steve really likes him, but it's not Steve's decision. It's David Stearns. So.
Steve has put all the trust into his president. He's not stepping in, and he's not going to muddle. Maybe at some point he might try to get them back to the table, But for right now, I think the Mets have played this fabulous.
Yeah.
Because if there was this big market for Pete, where are the offers? Show me.
Yeah, it's really, since it's now been this long, he's really the last first baseman out there to sign, and only the Mets and Angels have given you actual offers.
Right.
It's pretty concerning.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like if the Jays do give him an offer, it's obviously going to be an overpay just based on market value for him. Also seeing too, the annual average is very similar to what he would have gotten with that big deal.
Right.
Like, the price is literally almost the same.
Exactly.
So they're giving him a very generous amount of money for 2 down years since that deal was proposed to him. So, you know, it's in his what he wants to do. If he wants to take the money, take the money. But I feel like the Mets have already made their decision to close the door. So
he fumbled the bag several times. You know, he thinks that he's worth more than what the market is dictating, and you know, I don't want to see it happen, but he's gonna end up like Michael Conforto. He just is.
Mm-hmm.
It just has that same feeling of Michael Conforto thought that he was bigger than what the Mets were offering him, and his career really hasn't recovered since.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm numb to it. Doesn't really matter to me. You know, I believe in David Stearns. So after the break, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Welcome back, y'all. Now it's time for the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Every week I go around the room and I ask, who is the dummy of the week? Jimmy, who you got, sir?
So I gotta give it to Elon Musk this week.
Why is Elon Musk the dummy?
Because he was going around bragging about how good he is at some video game, how he was like the 5th ranked player. Then he live streams himself playing on Twitter, and the guy has like no idea how to play.
Rubbish.
He just doesn't know how to play. Like, it wasn't even like he was having a down day. Like, he didn't like mechanics of the game. Nothing, no idea. And he thinks people are stupid enough to watch him play and still not realize.
Well, they are.
Yeah, people are stupid enough. So.
But I mean, listen, this is the world that we live in now, honestly, because people can be able to tell you things that are based in no facts. Like, and you can be able to fact check this. You can be able to research it and realize that this dude is lying or this woman is lying, and it doesn't matter. They look at you like, well, this is my truth. I believe that I am good. You can't tell me different. Lies have become unchecked in this society. And that's the way they like it. This is how billionaires can be able to continue to be the narcissists that they are, because they have a lot of yes men that are around them that somebody's not going to tell Elon Musk, yo, dude, you gotta learn how to play that game, Elon. Like, you can't be out there telling people that. You're gonna have people saying, you know what? Yeah. You're the best player out there, Elon. You show them, okay? Doesn't matter if you've never played it. You'll figure it out. Why? Because they want to make sure that those checks keep coming. You do get money for brown nosing a billionaire. You do know that if you're in that circle. There's plenty of people that get paid just the brown nose. So Elon Musk, he gets the dummy, but at the end of the day, everybody else gets the dummy for believing that this dude can actually play video games.
Dummy.
Yeah. There we go. Silent Assassin, who you got?
I'm going with Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso gets the
dummy. Yeah.
Explain.
Everything we just talked about, and I think we did talk about it briefly last week, how, like, honestly, it's like a match made in heaven for him to stay with the Mets. So I have no idea what's going through his mind, you know. He can be a legend as a Met and have his name as #1 on a lot of different records.
Yep.
Have his probably number retired down the line
Yep.
for breaking all those records, and you walk away from that to go probably be on just a random team, be just another guy on the team, probably be miserable the rest of his career because he's not going to get any like probably awards or be on record books. So I just don't understand what's So what's his deal? Like, just changing, like either like moving his whole life out of New York just to go play where in Toronto or Seattle, a random city that no one likes. Who wants to go live in Canada? It's too cold, and Seattle is always raining. So
Sometimes chasing the bag is not always the right thing. But guess what? I'll use a nice analogy here. Pete Alonso just broke up with his girlfriend that doesn't care to have him back. And he's in the club. And he tried to talk to this particular person. Didn't work. Tried to talk to this particular person. Didn't work. Tried to talk to this particular person. Didn't work. And the lights have cut on now because it's time to go home. Pete Alonso looks across the way, and there's a lady that's looking at him, and she struck out for the night as well. So you have two fucking desperate people that don't want to go home, that are looking at each other and saying, hey, you're not really my type. I don't think I like you. But, you know what I mean? Just when in Rome. Pete's desperate. And so are the Blue Jays. Nobody wants to take their money.
Mm-hmm.
They're that old person that says, hey, I'm going to pay you to kick me in the nuts. I don't want to do that, but I have money for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it. I'm not going to your house to go kick you in the nuts. I'm not doing it. Nobody wants to take Toronto's money. Why? Because the team in itself is not structured great.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be built like their best star is potentially leaving.
Yeah,
the
Bo
next
Bichette
year,
has
so.
said, I'm not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Vladdy wants his money, but we'll see if that happens, right? So you're going to go ahead and just go there just to take the money. It makes you look silly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, granted, I'm not going to hate on anybody to want to go get your money. Go get the bag if you want to. But sometimes you have to look at everything from a wider lens. You can be able to take the 6 years if they offer you that and be in Toronto. But are you really going to be remembered for what you did in Toronto? Or people are going to be like, what could have been in New York? And you don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Darryl Strawberry says it all the time that he regrets leaving the Mets. Same thing with Doc. Same thing with a lot of players that have left certain situations. You know what this reminds me of? Remember, and it's not, obviously you can't compare because they're at two different stages of their career. Remember how ugly the Derek Jeter, Brian Cashman negotiations were? The last contract that Derek Jeter signed? I think Derek Jeter was like 30-something years old, late 30s. And he thought that he was valued at a higher level than what Cashman thought he was. And it was an ugly negotiation for months. And, you know, people thought that Jeter wasn't coming back. And then they finally got back to the table and signed a deal. And I remember Derek Jeter had asked Brian Cashman, who would he want at shortstop? Brian Cashman gave him a name that wasn't him. Right? Because Cashman is thinking long term. He's thinking bigger scale outside of these 3 years. Because let's be honest, as good as Pete is, say he even has a great 3 years, what are the odds that Pete stays at first base or he has to go to DH?
Yeah.
And then, and then what happens to Soto after he starts to age? You're going to want to push him to DH. So the partnership, once we got Juan Soto, it was never going to be a long-term solution. Yeah, let's keep you for the short term, Pete, but outside of that, we ain't got nothing more for you. So you can set your records as a Met. You can have your 10-year tenure or whatever the hell it is. And then we'll give you a watch, kick you on the butt, and say, thank you for your service. We got Juan Soto. Sorry. You fumbled the bag. You should have took the deal that dumbass Billy Apple was going to give you. You've been fine now. You've been fine now. Security, have your money. They would have probably considered trading you maybe, or maybe just kept you around. But you fired your agent because you overplayed your market, not realizing that, as I said, first basemen are like running backs. Market has been depreciated, and you're not going to get what you think that you should get just because you mash a couple of home runs. Outside of you hitting home runs, what is your value? Not great defensively, although he's worked very hard to get better. But outside of him hitting home runs, what is his value? Strikes out a lot. His plate discipline has dissipated over the last 2 years. Swings at everything. Be mad at David Stearns if you want to, but he's right. He's never going to admit that. Met fans will never admit that because they're in their feelings and emotions, but Stearns is right. If we're going to go after somebody and throw money at first base, let's throw it at somebody that's a lot younger and that actually has the fastest exit velo and swing in the major leagues, that doesn't bat less than 290. I'd rather put money into that, because even in his bad years, he's still better than Pete. Sorry, not sorry.
Dummy, yeah.
That was a good one. I had to get it off with those Mets. Poor Pete. I do feel bad for him because, you know, he does want to be a Met, but David Stearns is like, no. No, it's not going to happen. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner for Dummy of the Week, Chandler Parsons. Chandler Parsons gets my
Dummy.
Now, I am somebody who understands a good hot take opinion. Hell, I have them a lot. And I can appreciate it. And I can be able to see where it comes from and find some good information in that hot take. When you have people like Chandler Parsons that just says wild shit on a regular basis. The man literally said, I love Kobe, but he's not top 3 all time in most people's eyes. And as much as I would love to throw shade at Chandler Parsons for that, he might be right. Problem is, who the fuck are you to tell us that one of the greatest superstars and shooting guards of all time is not a top 3 player? Who the fuck was Chandler Parsons? What did he do? What gives you any clout to say anything about a guy that can't defend himself? That's the part that bothers me. Is that he's gone and he can't defend himself. You can't have Kobe Bryant on your show to be able to talk to him about why you feel he's not top 10. So let's listen to Mr. Chandler Parsons.
In most people's eyes. So I don't even understand how this is even an argument with him and
Wait,
LeBron.
who's the third? It's MJ, LeBron, and
I think it's Shaq, but there's a lot of guys would go even older than him. But like, I don't think if you look at rankings across the world, I don't think Kobe is in most people's top 3. He's not. But to put him over LeBron, like, again, it's an opinion. You think he's top 3, Lou?
I ain't rolling, Chandler. Yeah, absolutely.
I would rank Kevin Durant. I would rank Kevin Durant above Kobe.
Yeah, it's also generational, Chandler. I'm a smidge older than you, so it's right there at that borderline. But
Chandler Parsons don't know what the fuck he talking about. For you to even not think that Kobe Bryant is up there, whether he's 3 or 4, he's up there. He's the second best shooting guard of all time. He is. No matter if he thinks he's 3 or he's up there. So for me, I don't listen to dudes like Chandler Parsons because your opinion doesn't matter to me. You have other people that are literally telling you you're wrong. And that's okay to be, steadfast and stay on your opinion. But we don't come to you for information about greatest of all time. If you want to go ahead and talk about the current players, we don't give a shit about what you talk about LeBron and Jordan and Kobe and Shaq. We don't care. Chandler Parsons had one good year in his life. One. Man signed a big ass contract and never played the same since. Man's been out of the league for like 7 years. Nobody cares about what you got to say. Kobe Bryant ain't top 3. Then who is? Who's better than Kobe? Who? Shaq? He said Shaq is... What? Now granted, Shaq's in my top 10, but he ain't no damn 3. Kobe Bryant was a guy that he didn't change basketball, but he made sure he maintained the prestige of basketball. See, when Jordan left, there was a hole. There was a big void. And somebody had to step into those shoes. Kobe Bryant did that. Won championships, was the guy. Then LeBron came along and revolutionized his way of playing and game and instead. But Kobe Bryant was the constant. So for you to say that this guy is not top 3, 4, 5, it bothers me that a guy like him will say that. That's why I'm upset. Somebody like Shaq says it. I'm like, really? Come on. But you come off as a hater because he always says something wild about it, LeBron or Kobe, and it's just like, bruh, sometimes people's intentions and their haterisms is just too much for me. I'm not a fan. Kobe Bryant's top 3. He is. And anybody that says differently, I'ma fight you. I'ma say it, and I'ma keep saying it. That anybody that don't think that Kobe Bryant is top 5 is a hater. I don't care what that's it. The hater. Now, if you say that Kobe is better than LeBron, I gotta pause there. I'll pause there. But Kobe Bryant is one of the greatest players we've ever seen. And for anybody to throw shade, it just doesn't make sense because, again, he can't defend himself. So, Chandler Parsons, whatever the hell your name is, you get the... Dummy, yeah. That's all for this show. Matter of fact, no. I'm not done. I got another one. Dummy. All you fucking Met fans out there that are so emotional about Pete Alonso. Oh, the Mets need to go sign him for whatever money. Oh, David Stearns is not doing anything. What has he done in his career? Well, he's not the one that signed Juan Soto. It was the owner. Oh, we want Tanner Scott. Why did we get AJ Minter? Oh, like, Met fans have been complaining for decades. We want a competent owner. Insert David, what was my man name? Steve Cohen, right? Steve Cohen's here. Got yourself a great owner. Loves the team, passionate. We need a competent GM. Somebody who's gonna, shore up the farm system, hire a good manager, and get us to where we need to be a consistent winner every year in, year out. Insert David Stearns. And as soon as he makes a franchise-altering decision to say, we are not doing bullshit no more, y'all revert right back to the bullshit. Well, why can't we have them both? because it doesn't fucking work. Yeah, you may enjoy it for 2 years, but here's the thing that I hate about Mets fans. And not all of them, because obviously we're Mets fans. What if we signed Pete Alonso for the 4 years, $115 million that he might want, right? And Pete Alonso has one of the most subpar, worst years of his career. You know what's going to end up happening? But we need to get rid of Pete because he sucks. What is David Stearns doing? Why did you pay him? Why can't you trade him? Fans are some of the dumbest people you will ever come across because they don't know how things work. I realize that. Most people don't know how anything works. You have some fans that says, oh, we spent $800 million on Soto. We're not going to have any money to do anything else. Where's the fucking salary cap? Last time I checked, there is none. Not in baseball. Oh, well, we're not going to sign Pete. That means that we can sign $20 million for Tanner Scott. Why? Why would you want Tanner Scott, and he's good, when you can get AJ Minter when the guy's literally been lights out for fucking 8 years in your division and you've seen him for 8 years on the Braves? You've seen him.
That's what it's like. You can't be happy. It's either they give him the money and he's bad and they complain, or you don't give him money and, then you let him walk.
Miserable fucks. This is why, I wish there was some Dodger behavior with Mets fans, because Dodgers never won all the time, especially with, they've just, recently had a run of success over the last 7-8 years, right? But they don't sound like crazy nuts. They just say, hey, who else are we going to get? Oh, we didn't get that guy? Okay, cool. We're good. There's no emotion. Oh, we needed. You got the best situation that we've had ever in regards to owner, president, GM, manager. You have one of the best players in the game. You have Lindor, who's your captain. You have a whole bunch of young prospects on this team that can actually turn into some great players. You have a good nucleus of talent. I'll take it. Anybody who thought that the Mets were a World Series contender this year, you're an idiot. Because that's not what we're building. We're building sustainable success. Not get to the World Series in 2015 and then go back into obscurity for 7 years. That's not what we're doing. Met fans are so used to failing that the only thing that makes sense to them is failing. So when things don't go their way, it's doom and gloom again. Same old Mets. No, it's not. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing the message boards with dumb statements every day. Pete wants to be here, but he has a market. Whatever that market is, we can't see it. There's no other team that's vying for his services, and when there is, then let's see what happens. But to look at David Stearns and call him Sleepy Stearns, all this other bullshit that we've heard over the last few months, it's like, what the fuck is going on? We just got to the NLCS and you don't trust the guy to build the team that got you there? Sometimes I wish that they can literally go back and remember what it was being fans and had to wait for the Wilpons to do something. And then when the Wilpons couldn't get the guy that they were supposed to get, they would pivot and go get the other fucking guy that nobody wants. Like Jason Bay. David Stearns is a guy that says we're not doing that anymore. So if Billy Epler gave you or offered you a big contract, I'm not doing that. I have no ties to you. So if you want to go ahead and go play hardball, go ahead. I'll sit here and watch you blink. Because I won't. And I'm just fine with not having no Pete. I don't give a damn. Because I'm big fish hunting. Kyle Tucker. Vladdy. Whoever else is out there. Hell, Bryce Harper might be available. I don't give a damn. We want those players. Because those players win championships. We don't want no mediocre guys. No Santander. And no Pete. I don't want those. Never been a Pete fan. But what I am a fan of is a guy that knows what he's supposed to be doing. He developed this pitching lab for us. He developed all of these prospects. We signed one of the best young prospects in the game a couple days ago. We couldn't do that shit 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Stearns did that. So all you Met fans out there, shut up and let the man cook. And I don't give a damn if Pete leaves, because guess what? If he leaves, something better is coming along. I'm telling you. And you guys are going to be like, oh my goodness, David Stearns is the best. Pete who? Dummies.
Dummy. Yeah.
That's all for the show. Jimmy, thank you for coming. You're the man. Silent assassin. You know what you do. I don't have to continue to give you compliments. I'm sick of it. Yeah. Next week probably will be a milestone for this show. We're going to do something different. We are going to be in the same spot, right? Doing the same thing we always do. However, might be a little bit more interactive. So stay safe, stay cool. Peace. Goddamn Nets. Maybe I should change teams baseball-wise too. Huh? I can do that. I can do that. Hey, I go to the Dodgers. I like them. They were the Mets before, right? Brooklyn. Why not? So I can deal with a fan base that's actually civil and understands how to do things. Pete Alonso. What's wrong with these people? Like we're talking about Pete like he's Babe Ruth. He's not. He's Herman Ruth. I'm done.
Okay. My son is the champ, so get over it.